Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm just going to quickly introduce Caitlin O'Malley from Clarivate. She's going to talk to us about Primo NDE. Caitlin, take it
Woohoo.
away.
Sure. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to start with a few slides before showing you some live. If you haven't met me before, my name's Caitlin O'Malley. I'm a senior technical solution consultant working with the Ex Libris suite of products with Clarivate, former access services and resource sharing librarian, and I'm presenting to you from Pennsylvania today. So it's very cold and rainy here. I hope it's much nicer where you guys are. So talking about Primo NDE today and Mixpanel for the user engagement analytics. Just kind of wanted to set the scene a little bit with the PowerPoint slides, and then we'll look at some live stuff. We're entering this new chapter with this next discovery experience, this NDE. If you've been around for a while, we had the classic Primo and then switching to Primo VE, where it was more integrated on the back end with Alma. And through those times, we have had different updates to the user experience, and this is a similar route to that. So updating the backend to newer standards and making sure things are more accessible and meeting the newer standards with that as well. So this is actually from the end of last month and already have a few institutions that we worked on the development of the NDE on that are live. So I'll show you some of these in a little bit and more going live soon. So building the NDE really was a labor that involved the community. We had focus groups for the UX, for Mixpanel, as well as around customization. And one of my favorite things about this is not only are we moving over the functionality that already exists with Primo VE, but also adding new ideas and NARS or curve request enhancements into the product to help the community with that. So exciting times for that. And really exciting for you guys today because the NDE will be available for general release over the weekend. So the November release is when that is going to be available. So you can begin playing with it next week. So the you'll have the ability to duplicate current Primo VE views and start playing with that NDE configuration and taking a look at that, or even switching it to live. One of the things I wanted to point out here is they also are launching the NDE cohort program, which has structured training program for institutions that are migrating. That's available, I believe, May and November for the next 2 years. So if you want to join that, there's information on the Knowledge Center about that. So working with a group to help you with the transition. I also wanted to point out, as I had mentioned about the accessibility. So they've already done one accessibility audit. There is a VPAT available um, on our web pages, but the design of this new NDE UX has been around accessibility, and as you can see, we're continuing to go through the audits as we're continuing to transfer over functionality to this new UX. Some things will look a little bit different on the back end for the customization side. So you still will have kind of that like easy color changing bit and they're adding a much easier way to uh, configure the add-ons and we're working with third parties on those. And then there's as well more advanced customization options. Yoel did a really great webinar on that this week. It's available on our YouTube. If you missed it, I highly recommend it. I think I have a link to it later in here, which I'm sure we'll share these as well. So still going to be fully customizable and configurable. Uh, it's just going to have a slightly different look. The other thing that is getting updated with the NDE is the analytics. So we are working with Mixpanel on that, and these analytics dashboards are really focused on the user experience and their workflow. Where did they start? What did they click? What facets are they using? What did they search? That sort of thing. We'll take a look at it. It's really cool. It's live, so a little different from the data warehouse, but also a really neat way to look at really what patrons are doing when they're on Primo. So I'm also included on here some links to different resources, and I'll show you in a second. The Knowledge Center has a full page on the NDE and information for transition and FAQ and around the configuration stuff, as well as there's the webinars available on YouTube on our website as well for the NDE, and this one that Yul did was just this week. And then there is also, I wanted to point out, an upcoming webinar on December 3rd that's specifically for consortia. So I thought that might be useful for some of you as well. There's also documentation around the Mixpanel analytics and some more resources and training available. Those will all be available. And did want to point out under the product documentation for Primo VE are the Go NDE resources. So this has a lot of that really helpful resources in that cohort program if you're interested in joining that. And one of the important things to look at is available features in the release plan. So if you're wondering where something is, if it's maybe a little further down in the functionality or and help you decide when you want to go live if you're waiting for some piece, it's all available in here for when things are coming. So let's take a look at what this looks like in a demo world here. So there is a new homepage, and this is customizable. You can see you have, an about the library area, or you could obviously display something else in an announcements type area. They've got a link to your library card there, and some quick links, kind of almost like the tiles you'd see at the top, links to other things you might want to direct patrons to. Maybe you want a link to your LibGuides or something here. Then we have the search box. So this is just that like default coloring and such. And then we have the tabs along the top, which are the same as the links are now across the top. So this is your keyword search box. So you would be using this as your like one search, your general search. And instead of when you're typing having the search scopes show up, it is now this little pre-facet type box there, and it will have whatever your default might be and any other scopes you have configured there. You can go ahead and throw your search into the box like normal and bring up the results screen. So this is slightly different from what you might be used to. One of the big differences is we have these quick filters here. And then if you want to see all of the filters, all the facets that you could be using, you have to expand that. So that is kind of hidden, and you can see things are collapsed, giving different options there for that. It's still the sort of option for include or exclude those facets, and the facets are still the sort of the ones that are available out of the box or the ones that you've created. It's just they are hiding under there. The icons have changed a little bit. I think that actually this bookmark one makes a little more sense these days instead of the pin. These, of course, could be customized as well, but in this sort of export one, I think that makes sense for these icons being a little more new. Still the same sort of things here where we have some quick information and links to the items. You can configure some more text here in the brief display as well. So a little different. I'm going to put a facet on here, or well, I'll take a look at one of these. Just go into one of these for a moment. This is still the sort of same information you'd see on the detailed screen, that quick information about the book. I think this has the thing asking me to sign in. I think I will go ahead and do that now, just so I can show you what that looks like. So the results here still, I just want to go into that book. So one of the main differences here with the updated detailed screen is now having this requests area. It still is depending on what you guys have configured, and can even have the sort of display logic of depending on my patron type. But this is a new area where you can have requests. If you're using Rapido, the tiles would be displaying here. Still have that sort of view online area, link to the item, the details, that's the same. And then the other big difference is you can choose to have these collapsed or expanded. So your general electronic service links if you have anything there. And of course, you can still choose to order these things in different orders. Some options that you have there, the kind of tools are still there. The generating the citation is still an option, and the exporting and saving and all that is still there. And going back and forth to next result or going back to your search results are still options there, just looking a little bit different. There still will also be, your virtual browse will still be an option. These are things that are all that functionality is getting transferred over still. Those are some of the updates around the searching and icons and stuff. One of the other areas that has gotten quite updated is the library account area. This to me looks more like the updated pages in Alma. So your patron still has like their overview page. And then if they want to go into the loans, they can go from here or from the tab on the side. So if I want to view those, I can do that. I have some different icons around. If it's renewable, I can renew some of these things and still save things to my account and such if I would like. Still have the requests area, fines and fees area, and still have your saved records, saved searches. Still have the option to set an alert for the search. That functionality that the patron is used to having is all there. It just looks a little more updated. These pages are all flexible and will resize depending on what the patron is coming from. So that is all working as you would expect here. So let's take a look at some of those libraries that went live already. So I'll take you over to Toronto to start. And I'm just going to do a little general search here. So you can see you'll see they've updated their look a little bit, and obviously the things they've chosen to turn on are a little bit different. The other thing I wanted to point out is that the tabs across the top have a little arrow if it's going to an outside website. So that is something that is new. I'm going to use the filters and look for the article so I can show you what those look like with their information. So there still are the icons and flags for things like peer reviewed or if things are open access. Citation trails, you can see what used to be like that little red icon is now a different image, and I think it's helpful saying articles citing this or cited in this article. So those are helpful as well. Those icons just changed, but it's still the same sort of information. You can see there's a little more information showing on the brief display for this. So if we want to look at what they have uh, done with theirs, there's still the same information that was on that brief. Quickly, one click to the article. If I would like that view online area, they have that at the top there. Then they have the details, and then it looks like they have collapsed their other areas and actually renamed these little sections. So there's those citation trails and their outside links. Those are some differences that they have chosen to do there. Maybe I'll try a book format too, see if they have integrated or turned on anything else. Um, I'll apply that filter and maybe I'll do a physical copy. Take a look at something that's hopefully in their collection. So here we have the available in their stacks. They have this in two different locations, so they have some information there. Looks like if I sign in, I could be possibly placing a hold. And there's that request area where I could, again, possibly be placing a hold or be sent to an ILL option, depending on what I'm looking at. That detailed information. Here's a shelf browse for a physical item. And then again, they have defaulted to this more information being collapsed. So I've made a few choices around that screen. The other school I wanted to take a peek at then was University of Rochester. Their music library has chosen to go live already. And so we can see their home screen is got that default image that we had there, but still have some information for where they want to quick link to their for their patrons. So I'm going to go ahead and search and see what they have done here in their configuration. So again, those filters are all there on the side. If we want to look at them, we can see different types of formats are available here. This one has that open access tag. And it also has one of the newer options as well that came with the NDE. If this had a PDF available, it would be the one-click link to the PDF, and then you could have other options for how to access that. So these links, if there's more than one option for the way that it is able to be retrieved, it will have that drop down option with just one default for the patron. I think that currently there'd be multiple links there, so trying to keep that a little cleaner. So if we want to go ahead and look at what they have done on their detailed screen, we can see that information they have, the stuff we saw on the brief results. Then they have their locations. So looks like this is available in the library there. And perhaps if I was logged in, maybe I'd have some requesting options. Then they have that detailed area. And in this case, they have the links area expanded by default, and that's available there as well. Take a look at this article then as well. So we have a little quote pulled in from the article, and I have that option for one-click access as well as being able to use the view online area, the detailed area, and the links area. Any of these, if they had chosen, or we could choose to collapse, however we prefer. Some of the areas that are still available are things like the database search, as well as the journal title search. So if I'm looking for a specific journal or database, those are available there, as well as through that keyword search. The collection area has been getting updated a bit as well. So if you're using the collections area, that is got some different looks to it. Still able to search in it, able to add some filters to that collection level, and use this for those collections as well. So these are getting a bit updated as well. So those are live and able to be played with as well if you guys want to look around. So the other area I did want to show you was the mixed panel. So this is an example mixed panel environment here that I have access to. So with those NDE pages, you get the Mixpanel subscription here, and you can see live what is going on, and then you can see there's options for filtering if I want to look at uh, a custom range of time or a different range of time. So I can see things like what type of users. You can see most of them are guests, users, if they're on campus or not, what their duration is. Where it starts getting cool is you get to see the flow. So the session start, what did they do? They went to sign in, they went to the menu links. Most people started with a search. They did the search and then what? So you can kind of see exactly where people are dropping off and exactly what they're doing as they go. You can see the little trails to see how people are moving through the system. You can see information about their signing in and when they sign in. Uh, we have, since this is demo sites, a lot of people don't log in, so a lot of guest usage here, and we can see not much time is being spent. You can see where the users are coming from as well. So a lot of people from our sites are just coming from Alma. And then we can see other sort of events. What are they doing? Facet usage, displaying the full record, using the research assistant, um, and taking a look at most visited pages. So this is just the last 30 days. The search page was the most visited pages. And you can see really where they're going, what's happening. Some of the search stuff, I love to look at that, see what they're doing and link types that people are using. So if you want to look at that sort of information, this is all just stuff that is available there out of the box. So there are different ones, different boards. So there's like a facet one, so you can see, what are the most used facets? Are things excluded or only included? So that might help make you make decisions on how you might want to change things or not in the discovery environment. And again, what what are they doing before and after using the facets? Did they start with a search and then use the facets? Uh, did they start from a record? And so just following really those flows, I like the little follow through those flows, see exactly where they came from and where they went, as well as this. There's one around searching. So I do think this is still some of the most interesting information is that we can learn from these patrons. What are they searching for? What are they doing when they're visiting the website? What are they doing when they're not working directly with the librarians? So you can even see, if they're logged in or a guest user and what those top searches are. So staff, faculty, undergrad in our different environment. What are those top search terms as well? And same with top 20 searches, advanced searches, as well as zero search results. It's still one of my favorite stories of people checking their zero search results and finding that their students must have been looking for library hours in Primo and adding into it a resource recommender. So lots of cool things that you can look at and kind of help you understand how patrons are using Primo, and then perhaps coming back and making any changes you might need to the search environment as well. Do I see, um, do I need to pause for some chat? Oh,
I see
you're good.
one question in
Okay.
the Q&A,
Oh,
asking how is the mixed panel accessed through Primo Analytics or something else?
so it's access through something else, but it is similar that you need to like grant access. There is information about getting access in some of these pages. Um, I'm not sure if they're going to add it in more places. I should double check on that, but I access it like through a direct link right now and have to log in um, for it. So it's not the same as where you're accessing the Primo analytics in Alma. It is separate.
So Caitlin, I would assume that it also does. It looks really interesting. It's fabulous. It looks really interesting. But
That's
um, it begins when we are in the new discovery experience, and the statistics
yes.
begin in when we. So it can't pull the statistics we have from already created Primo VE dashboards.
No, no.
Okay, just want to
No.
clarify that. All
Yeah,
right.
that's a good point. Yeah, this is going to be new data, not going to have pulled in earlier data from what you already have. Um
I mean, I assume it's not possible because we're really right.
yeah,
So
because
yeah,
it's different. Yeah,
exactly.
completely
Yeah.
different. I was gonna say, I think if I could pull up to the this mixed panel links are where there'll be more information about setting like enabling it and everything. So those are again on the Knowledge Center and I will share this deck with the team so that these can be shared as well. Um,
Awesome. I have another question in the Q&A, which is what anonymization options are available for these types of analytics? The same, are they the same as
As far as I'm aware,
yeah.
they are the same. Yeah, it's very basic, just user group as far as I can tell. I wasn't seeing anything even like device information, which I'm not sure if there's additional ones that could be created. I have like a view only account actually right now, in Mixpanel, so I haven't played around quite as much. But so I don't know if there's more options that I haven't seen yet. Um, but as far as I've seen, everything is still anonymized. Definitely no identifying information in here. Um,
So you're just
uh,
getting behavior based on user group
behavior
type.
based on, yeah, if they logged in, user group, that is as much information I've got. And then if they're on campus or not is the only other thing
Okay.
that I've seen around that.
And I
Um,
assume that's on campus based on IP.
that's what I'm guessing as well. Um, so not very, yeah, very li obviously, with our products in general, uh, you know, security is very very important, since we work with the federal government and everything. So um, we wouldn't be sharing any PII with a third party. So um, it is still anonymized, but still giving you information on how different user groups perhaps are um, working.
And
Uh,
also that this is a product you're offering to groups in Europe as well, which have much more
that's
strict
true.
privacy
Yes.
standards. So it
Yes.
adheres to those privacy standards as well.
Yes, yes, the GDPR and all that as well. There, I know they like thought a lot about, partnering with Mixpanel and there was, I'm sure, a large discussion for why they chose to change the analytics for the NDE, and I think they see a lot of benefits, but as well as continuing our security commitments. So. I'm
Yeah.
excited about it. I'm excited to play more with it. I realized that I need to ask for more permission. The usual. I don't have permission, but I think it's really cool. When I worked in libraries, I always was part of the usability teams. So working with patron focus groups is something I've always really enjoyed. So I could see how useful this would be as well for helping you inform some questions or ideas for what you want to do with some local focus groups. I thought that this is so cool. Um, Sorry for
Yeah,
the
I think this
random
looks really
aside.
nice. No, no, no. I think this looks really nice and is one of the more exciting things for me with eventually going over to the NDE for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's also easier to read than the kind of statistics you get on Primo VE right now, which is nice.
That's yeah, I agree. I like these. And I did see, I mean, these things as well, you can change things like, different types of graphics as well. As well as, sharing them and such are still options in this environment as well, and creating new ones. I'm sure you wouldn't want to just use these out of the box ones, but lots of options with the Mixpanel environment, which is cool. Um,
We have about 10 minutes left, a little less than 10 minutes left. If anybody else has more questions, drop them in the Q&A, or I think you should be able to raise your hand if you want to speak. I can allow you to talk.
Ooh, cool. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Um, yeah, and the just reminder again, upcoming December 3rd will be a good webinar for the ND for consortia. So make sure you guys look out for that if you are interested in learning more on that.
I'll be
Other,
there.
I didn't think I'd get through everything this quick, so I did want to just point out the highlights of the changes. And you may have noticed something that you were thinking of wasn't there yet. There is the release plans on um, the the Knowledge Center, and I did notice that they did really highlight if it's a consortial thing, and there's a whole section for the consortial related releases, so that if you're starting to play with the NDE as soon as next week, um, you can take a look at this page to see if there's something that you didn't see yet. So, for example, um, not yet in the mix panel is the Rapido statistics. So those will be available for Rapido NDE users this coming week, and you can see things like if anything specific is you're looking for, they're there. Browse search isn't coming till December. So they wanted to be really clear about all of these releases, and if you've been taking a look at them, um, you've seen how they've gone through because as people choose to switch over, we wanted to be clear about what was already functionality that they're used to in Premium VE had been moved over, and what are, as you can see, things that are new flags that we're adding for this new environment.
I have another question in the chat, which I think if you can pop over to one of the live NDE examples, you can see she's asking if email function is now part of the export icon in Primo NDE. I think this is for if you want to email yourself.
I think that's under this, yeah, under the
Yeah,
export
under the
guy.
share, little
Yeah, the
share
little
icon.
share one. Um, the export is to like citation things, and printer. Although I guess it makes sense either way. Um, yeah, so that is there, the emailing. Um, I was like thinking there's something else on my mind of something I wanted to point out.
Something else in the release?
Yeah, now I'm trying to remember what I
Oh,
was. Oh, one of the other things, and we had been curious about because we'd seen it here before. We saw what it was is the little ask anything option. This is where you can do like a natural language query, and it's going to give you uh, a results that are using it's
AI.
not the same as Research Assistant, but it is going to
This
help
is
create that into a better search from natural language. Um,
this one is using an agentic style AI
yes,
model as opposed to the Primo Research
the
Assistant, which uses a
RAG,
large language and RAG
yeah,
model. Okay.
yes, yep. And so that is in the new pages as well, that ask anything. Um, I'm curious to look at the statistics of how that is used. Um, because when we saw it before we heard what it was, we were my my team and I were like, wait, what is happening? Uh, so
The
that is another new feature in those new pages. Um,
so you get the more advanced AI research assistant with the
yes,
new discovery
yeah, and
screen.
that, as with the current things, everything is opt in, turn it on. Um, you know, uh, when you play around in the live sites, you see people still do change labels to different things, and people do make different choices still for how things get customized and configured. Um, but the options are there still for you.
Awesome. So I've
More
got
options.
two questions in the Q&A. The first is with setting defaults, can you have the filters, the left-hand filter bar be expanded on default?
I am not positive on that one. Um, I can see if I can get back to you on that.
Okay. And then the second question is about letters configuration. Is that going to change at all, or is that and that's about like automated sending of emails,
Oh,
call it
yeah,
letters.
that hasn't been updated at this point. That's still in the Alma side. Um, I'm hopeful for that to be
I know
something on the on the on the update plans in the future. But yeah, that has not changed with the NDE. I was thinking,
that would be in an Alma roadmap,
yes, that would be an Alma.
not an
I did
NDE.
want to just log in and show you guys. So if you are one of the people that is able to has permissions for the discovery area and are interested in um, working with NDE, starting to take a look at how your things would look when you go to configure views. What you'll be able to do is duplicate for NDE what a current view is.
Oh, okay. That's nice. So you don't have to recode
So
all
you
your
don't have
views.
to I mean, I was going to say it probably doesn't like my apostrophe. Um, so you can duplicate it for the NDE, and then it will have that little check mark, and then you can start to edit it and play with it without obviously having that live yet. So you have that switch to live option. So if you want to do one view at a time, or just start messing around, seeing if everything has been functionally moved over for you, you can start there. So a lot of the customization may need to still be redone, but it does let you have a starting point at least by copying over the view. Uh,
That's great.
so
Um,
that
and I have one final question I think we have time for from the
cool.
Q&A, which is that do you know anything about the third iron libkey integration in NDE?
I know that that is a company we worked directly with for an easy add-on
Okay.
configuration. So that will be available um, in the add-on area. I think that there was like a little image here in the add-on configuration area. We worked directly, I know, with Third Iron for a fact for libkey because I know that is a popular one used a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Um, and John is asking about availability for libraries within network zone, and I think you
Yeah.
had said
Yeah. You will
December
be
4th.
able to look um to start playing with it. I think some of the functionality for the consortia is coming a little later. So definitely sign up for the webinar on December 3rd about the consortia, but you still can begin playing with it in the general release on November 2nd.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Caitlin. We really
You are
appreciate it.
welcome. I hope you are excited to play around with NDE. I was like, the timing of this weekend is pretty exciting. So you guys get to all talk about stuff, and then next week maybe even dive into playing with it.
Yeah, I think we're finding that this October timeframe works really nicely with your release
Yeah, that's
schedules.
great.
Yeah,
I love
release
that. That was
conference.
smart.
Yeah. Serendipity.